We are now in addition of dissimilar rational expression or algebraic fractions. We are given the task to add x all over x minus 1 plus 2x minus 1 all over x squared minus 3x plus 2. So dissimilar siya because they don't have the same denominator. The first expression is a binomial and the second expression is a trinomial. So what we are going to do? No, I have already discussed the steps in the previous videos in adding or subtracting dissimilar rational expression. So first is to find the LCD. No? Why kabaguhan? There's nothing new in this because this is the steps that we have learned during our elementary days in dealing with fractions. So what are the LCD? X minus 1 and x squared minus 3x plus 2. So, ang inyo buhaton na yung is to apply gihapon factoring. So, x minus 1 is already in its simplest form, but x squared minus 3x plus 2, which is a trinomial, can still be factored into the quantity of x minus 1 times the quantity of x minus 2. So, if you want to ask why, it's simple. No? It was already discussed in the previous video, especially in factoring general trinomial. So for a sort of review, yun sana ni sir, first is to identify the value of a, which is 1, b is negative 3, and c is positive 2. So if a is equals to 1, let us now focus in the value of c, which is 2. And b is also negative. So the possibility ani sa positive nga number factor could be positive times positive or negative times negative. But since b is negative, we will take the negative 1. And 2 is also a prime number. So sure tang ang factor ana is only 1 and 2. And negative ang atong gamiton. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. And negative 1 plus negative 2 is negative 3. So therefore, mo na siya. X minus 1. Negative 1, negative 2. And we are using the variable x. So to check, we apply FOIL method. No? F stands for first term. X times x, which is x squared. That's correct. And then O stands for the outer term. X times negative 2. The answer is negative 2x. I stands for negative 1 times x, which is the inner term. And the answer is negative 1x. And combining like terms, negative 2x plus negative 1x, the answer is negative 3x. And L stands for the last term. Negative 1 times negative 2 is equals to positive 2. Now, we have now a common term. So, we already know the restriction in this case. Okay, klaro naman. Ito naman ang factor. So, x should not be equal to positive 1. Okay, kung 1 is here, 1 minus 1 is 0. So, 0 is undefined if the denominator is 0. Everything will be meaningless. So, bawal si 1 diri as well as si positive 2. No? So, the restriction is x should not be equal to 1 and 2. So, to find the LCD, by the way, kaya atong purpose is to find the LCD, we have x minus 1, kaduha ni gawas, di ba? X minus 1 diri pikas, another x minus 1 sa second denominator. So, once we will be seeing this kind of scenario nga kaduha ni balik, no? Ang x minus 1, all you have to do is to write them once. So, x minus 1, the quantity of x minus 1, and the other one, ang y kapares is x minus 2. So, therefore, kaduha ni balik sa x minus 1, kausara to is what? And walay kapares sa x minus 2, we need to include. Thus, the LCD is the quantity of x minus 1 and the quantity of x minus 2. So, the first step has been carried. Ato na nakuha. What is the purpose of this least common denominator LCD? So, the purpose of having this LCD is to rewrite the original expression into a similar fraction. Kay dissimilar man magamit ang LCD, nya ang iyahang LCD atong ibutang aning original, ipuli nato para ang dissimilar fractions mahimong similar fractions. So, mao na siya. So, since we already have the LCD, all we need to do is to rewrite each expression with the LCD. So, from the original, mo ni. Noon saan naman nato? We need to rewrite the expression in such a way that if we simplify, it will go back to the original given. Okay, that is why we use the equivalent symbol or equal symbol. Equal symbol sa math, no? So, for this, ang pinakasayo na ni using the LCD sa ubos, okay now, LCD. So, since there is a ubos is ang x squared minus 3x is plus 2 is the same as the LCD, so wala maotro. Now, focus on the there is a first term in this first term. Now, I said earlier that if we write the LCD and we are going to simplify, see to it that when you apply simplification or cancellation, it will go back to the original. So, in the first expression, the original is x all over x minus 1. Now, notice, unsa ra may napuno? If this is the LCD, the quantity of x minus 1, times the quantity of x minus 2, kung ato mag-cancel sa x minus 2, mubalik yun siya sa x all over x minus 1. Okay? So, maone ang bot pasabot na to sa rewrite. Dali ra kay na pangitao, no? All we need to do is to check using our eyes, naked eye, no? Nga inig apply this cancellation, it will go back to the original. So in this case, they are now equal. Pareha na dire, balance na, no? So the second term wala to hilabti because they have the same LCD as original niya. Now, after this is to simplify anay. We apply distributive property in this expression, x times the quantity of x minus 2. So notice that the expression becomes similar fractions. From the similar fraction, using the LCD, becomes a similar fraction, and they should be equal when simplified. So when we simplify further, we apply distributive property, x times x is x squared minus 2x. Okay na na. Muna na, no? So, wala na to hilabti ato ginigitag-sagsa. And then, we add the numerators. Okay, since they are now similar fractions, all we need to do when we add the fractions, we just copy the denominator and add the numerators. Okay na na. So, mo ni no? Kausara na to gisuwat si denominator. X minus 1, the quantity of x minus 1 times the quantity of x minus 2. And then we have x squared minus 2x, which is this. And then the plus sign, ato lang ikopya. Okay, plus 2x minus 1. Okay. Now we combine like terms. Ang parehaan is negative 2x plus 2x. This will be neutralized. Neutralized means 0, no? 2x, negative 2x plus 2x is 0. So ang remaining term is x squared minus 1 all over the LCD, which is the quantity of x minus 1 times the quantity of x minus 2. Okay? So, mauna na siya ang ihang expression And we simplify further by factoring because the numerator now becomes a difference of 2 squared. X squared is a perfect square minus 1, another perfect square. So, we factor out. The result will be the sum and difference. The product of the sum and difference of the quantity of x plus 1 times the quantity of x minus 1. Okay na na. X plus 1 quantity and another quantity of x minus 1. So we copy the denominator. So from this, we can now check that there are common terms and we have to divide it out or cancel it out. So x minus 1 will be cancelled out. So resulting for the final answer is x plus 1 all over x minus 2. Okay, maning cancel out, no? Okay na na. So we have already determined the restriction from the original that x should not be equal to positive 1 and positive 2. And that ends our example in the addition of the similar rational fraction expressions. Thank you and stay safe, guys.